None is with us now because they've all grown. The two girls are married to the glory of God and have got their children. One has 4, and the 3 of the 4 children are in the universities. The other one has 3, and one of the 3 is in the university. She's a deputy registrar. The one is an acting MD somewhere.
When did you say? Call their names. You wanted their names.
One is Mrs. Ibim Seminetari. She's the acting managing director in NDDC. She has 4. 3 of the 4 are in the university. The last one probably will get in by next year. Dangi Daminabo, Mrs. Dangi Daminabo has 3. One is in her final year in the university. One is getting in this year, and the other one is in moving into secondary school. So, and the third one is a boy. The 2 girls, we glorify God, they are doing well. The boy is giving us some stress, but we thank God he has come back to his senses. I don't know how, you know how people now say, oh, you're a boy, your sisters are all married. You now inherit all your father's things, and they put those type of rubbish in his head. So he now thinks, we said, it cannot be so, because there is no child that is superior to the other. So now he knows that it is true, that he's not superior to his sisters. So he's coming back to his senses. So they all do well now.
So we thank God for that, because we find that our African traditional thought form places too much emphasis on the boys.
That's right.
As a result of which many of them misbehave.
Yes.
And when they misbehave, they look up to parental property and all this and all that, and cheat themselves by not working very hard.
Well.
So, but things are changing, and it's a welcome development.
Yes.
That both the boys and the girls are having the right values now.
Yes, yes.
From their parents. Nobody is devalued, because when there is this aspect of a child being devalued, it gives them very bad feelings. And in the very issue we are talking about, you don't even know who will care for who.
That's right.
Of course, yes.
You don't know who is care for who, whether it is the boy or the girl. So parents should in fact not make the mistake of preferring one to the other.
That's
just
right.
train the children God has given you.
And that's what we counsel young couples, to raise all the children equally, because like you said, if the boy thinks that he will inherit the father's things and you give it to him, he will sell them all off. Meanwhile, the girls are very comfortably settled in their husbands' homes and will appreciate their father's things and make sure it stays in order and intact. So we must not let any child feel superior to the other.
So you have lived through generations, and you were in the British system. You were there in the military rule. You are in the democratic system in Nigeria, and in fact, you have taken part as a deputy governor.
I didn't never did this still.
Okay. Yes.
Only a deputy.
Now, as it is, can you say that marriage of those days have something inherent in them that made them more successful than those of today? Or do you in fact think that they were more successful today before than today?
You know, marriage is it's something that is ordained by God, and it's been through ages, and like you rightly said before, no marriage is the same. Also, we must accept that the environment, the societal values in this country have changed a lot. And I'm not quite sure I can compare marriages in those days and marriages, because marriages in those days are sustaining till now. Those who are married now are still going on. I don't know, some of them will also last as long as our own. So, you know, it's a continuous thing. It's not going to break one day. Yes, there are some that will fall off by the wayside. Like in those days too, the marriages that were in those days, some crashed, some are going on. And once we get the right values and the right concept of marriage, I believe that every marriage can succeed, depending on the values we place, that those who marry place on themselves, and especially for Christian marriage, I'm talking on Christian marriage now, will also find that they will go on. Society has put a lot of pressure on homes. That we must accept. The economy has also not been much helpful, especially in recent times. But you know, the problem here in Nigeria, we don't really have much of statistics of these things when they happen, and many of them happen we don't know. You know, in Britain, US, they will just go and tell you, I'm no longer, this marriage has crashed. They go to court, they divorce, they can marry today, in the next 1 week, they are out of the matter, you know, and to them is it. But here, we still, you know, our traditional system still puts some checks on families. I mean, no woman wants to go into a marriage and get out of it. Your family will say, what are you doing? There are still that check, yes, on our marriages very in this country. So, very much so. And that's why even when you go to church to marry, the priest will still find out whether you have done your traditional marriage. Yeah,
carrying the families
along. Even at the wedding day, they want to see the parents. And that's a very beauty of it, because they will, as who is given this, the father will come, and the priest will take the daughter and then hand over. And then at the end of the day, they call the the parents, yeah, especially the mother-in-law, yes, and say, this woman is coming to your family, are you going to accept her? And, you know, pray for her and so on. That's in public glare, yeah, you know, and that what church is doing is reaffirming the traditional value, and I think that is keeping marriages, Christian marriages in this country, not that bad. I mean, I don't see that we are worse off now than it was at the beginning. I mean, at the beginning, I didn't know when the beginning started, apart from Adam and Eve, but at least I know our own is only 50. There are those who have done more than 50. There are those who have done 20 as well. But I think that by and by, the way the church is, and I'm now talking about the one I know, the Anglican Church, the way they are doing it is helping to put value on marriage, Christian marriage, bringing the family together, both the wedded couple and their both families, bring it together in congregation and make them to take this. But I also know there are other denominations, I don't know whether I call them denominations or and so on, who say that the marriage is for better, for best. For best. They don't believe in better and worse. If I went to one wedding in one of these new group things, and I had a man of God, you know, they call themselves a man of God, telling the couple that this marriage, that God does not believe in bad, worse, there's no worse, there's no sickness in marriage, you know, this marriage is all going to be for good. I mean, I was astonished that can come from a man who is carrying the Bible. But so I don't pontificate about them because I don't know where they are coming from. But I'm very proud of our own church, the Anglican Church. Apart from liturgy, which places high premium marriage, we have brought into that liturgy the essence of the fact that the family is not alone. The couple is not just going on their own. Their parents are part of it, and they have a duty and a role to play to keep them. I think that's why I'm also in the Anglican Church. I don't see that we're having so many divorces, or if we're having, it's not public. So we can't really say that we're not doing well in that. But we just keep on doing that. The priest, the primate, and the church should keep on preaching, keep on teaching our clergymen the best way to handle these things. And counseling, which has become part of what we have also instituted. That's when I say we, I'm talking of the Anglican Church. Yeah, the Anglican Church, which has insisted that couple that have to be married must undergo some counseling in the church for a period, and they must come together and do it. And I think it helps. Yes. So people get to understand what they are doing before they get into it. And the issue of genotype is also something that I think our church is also trying to introduce during counseling. Yes. That couple must know their genotype. Yes, love is okay, but when you get blinded and you get into something you can avoid, then when it starts coming, you know. But so I think those areas are things that are helping to stabilize even the family now, irrespective of the problems of society, the environment, the downtrend in societal values and so on. I think the church is still keeping what it should do. Thank you, sir.
Mommy, you will tell us now, in the home, the husband is the leader. Yes. Is in charge of the government. Being the mother, would you say that since 50 years that the leadership has been a considerate one, a very favorable one, all through the authority has been applied with love?
I don't know how I will put it. I'll put it this way. Yes, the man is the head of the family. But if you have the man who is the head and he does not reason appropriately, that boat may crash, may capsize. Most men who really authoritatively claim they are the heads of their homes succeed because they listen to the wives. They'll come. What do you think? Even our grandparents, you know, when elders come to a meeting and the matter gets tough, they say, gentlemen, let's go and sleep over it. To sleep over it means let them go home and talk to the wives. The wives will reason with them and they come back the next day with better answers. Hallelujah. So the man is the head, but he is, because he is the pilot, he is able to navigate the coast, navigate the storm. So he remains the head and able to bring out from all the subjects, all the other people in the family, the best out of them. And he will use all those, galvanize himself and continue to lead effectively. He remains the head, but he knows how to. A good leader, a good pilot, a good head knows how to work with even the driver, even everybody else in the house. And you see him as the experts pilot, expert leader. We thank God.
You know, there's this thing that the husband is the head and the wife is the neck. So if there are no leg, no head. So the leg carries the head. I've heard that said one or two occasions, you know.
Sir, what do you think about money, glamour, vis-a-vis marriage? Because we had instances during the military era where after a military governor steps down, then the wife deserts.
That's right. Yeah.
Or a situation where, because of bad or poor financial circumstances, the wife decides to start misbehaving. So what advice do you have for our Christian young people?
Again, it's wrong values. It's wrong values. Money, for us economists, we say money is what money can buy. And money is a passing thing, it's ephemeral. Wealth itself is nothing. And you know, glamour and all those things, when you see people in that kind of stage, then pray for them. Because the only thing that you can talk about them is that, first, they have no values. Secondly, those people cannot be contented, because once those things that shine vanish, they are finished. And when you use it and decorate them, so to speak, a man is in authority, and that's part of the problem we've had in this country. You come into power, and it gets into your head, and you don't know that what you are, somebody has been there.
I don't know.
And then when you go away, somebody will come.
Of course.
But we don't know that. So you see people come and they get drunk with power. And so their wives get into that mood, and depending on also their circumstances and that they brought up. And so they take flights to Dubai. I don't know where they get in those days. And they buy all sorts of things, and they put chains from the nose to the ear to all the fingers and so on. Now, when those things don't come, you find that it's a different thing. So I think my advice would be that, first of all, Christians must know that the world is transit. We are here for a while, and we will go. And that also remember that we came into this world with nothing. We are going to go with nothing, and that this place is temporary abode. So if we know that, and we're able to now galvanize whatever resources, whatever God has given us for the service of man and service of God, then we remain eternally happy and grateful. Now, but if we leave that and we think that wealth, money, authority, glamorous living can go anywhere, you will soon find that those things will go. And we are also historians, but we are told that history teaches us nothing. Otherwise, in Nigeria, we should have learned a lot from the First Republic through the military to now. And we haven't learned a lot. Look at what is happening in the papers. The amount of money that's being bandied around. At the beginning, I didn't believe that those things were possible. I didn't know that we were that rich, that individuals can get those kind of things. And yet, we can't fix roads. We can't fix education. We can't fix health and so on. No, but now it's coming again. We are looking at it. I hope we will learn. But it goes to tell you that we live in a circle. And God has a way of revealing himself to us if we can only learn. So glamour, money, all those things are transient. And for a Christian who believes in God, please let us hold to one thing. Hold to God, hold to Christ, and serve humanity and serve God, even with our resources. Because if we are given, you remember the talents.
It's creation.
Yeah, I mean the talents a man is given, he has his own, he uses it, he blessed more. If you don't use your own, you have yourself to blame. So when you have money, when you have wealth, and when God has endowed you with something, please use it for benefit of mankind.
Thank you, sir. Mommy,
Yes.
what do you say to our young women of today who would, when there is a young man trying to propose. They judge him, put him on the scale and say, mene, take care of your fast. And then he said he has no flashy car, and his parents are poor, and this, and they conclude that that just can't be the husband. So what do you say